Okay, beginner class number 9. We're going to still be working on the standing guillotine. Going to be setting up some entries to the clinch, and then just moving forward with some of our punch defense and the guard as well. But first, we're going to get warm up with some of our fundamental movements. We got Kevin here helping out with our usual Micah. Okay, so we're going to start off and we're going to do some stationary drills. So if I'm on the mat here, right, what we're gonna start with is kind of a side fall sort of idea, okay? But we're gonna keep our feet narrow. Here in a second, we're gonna widen them out, but we're gonna keep them narrow. So here, right? So I switched my hip right there, so it's kind of like a side fall when we slap the mat, right? Sometimes our feet are here. We're gonna put our feet like this. Here, here, okay? So we can do that in a variety of ways when we come up to seated and so on, right? So let's just start here on our backs and we're switching like this. And kind of pronouncing your feet hitting. Yes. Oh, good, 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 good. Nice. Keep that up. Good. Okay. Now, think about this. Okay. So if we're here, we're landing in more of this position like we're side falling, but from here we can bridge and turn over. We can hit back, we can hit forward for all of these different techniques, okay? So here, we're just gonna, right? And then practice like once you get here, boom. This is my base, here. And then I'll land like I did a fall, and then I'm ready to escape if I did that ball with the foot in, okay? So go ahead, and we're just side to side here, boom. Okay, now let's do combat base. Combat base is this, okay? But we can stand up from here if we go live toe in the back, right? We can open our chest up here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rock back and we're gonna do that narrow switch and come up. First, let's just practice opening our chest with this. Good, now we'll go live toe, getting up in base, and just reversing everything. Nice, okay, teeter-totter. All right, so we'll get Micah down first. All right, so Kev, you're gonna kind of walk around Micah here, and then go this way, right? And we're just maintaining a distance. Like, I can't really reach him with any techniques. I've got to engage. So maintaining distance and circling. Can we go with him now? Nice. Good. Good, nice. Now, Kevin, you go. You're on the seated position. Good, circles. Use the backs of your arms on the mat to help you turn. Almost like you're doing a break fall, almost. Yes. See, that helps you turn so much. Okay, very good. So now here's what we'll do, and we'll keep you down here for this one. I'm gonna go to the side one time, and I want you to reposition, but instead of being here, like we talked about this the last couple of classes, put both hands behind you, like a crab crawl, a little closer to your Yes. If I'm pulling you, slightly raise your hips and move them back a little bit, actually. Feel how strong that is? And inversely so. Hips lightly up and then forward. Right? So that's kind of base from the seated position. So instead of being in the middle, like how we get up in base, when I run over here, I want you to come up in that one hand behind position, ready to kick, create space, but we're just getting up, okay? And be sure that hand's behind you because that keeps us from getting pushed over, okay? So I'm gonna go around this way, you reposition, come up here, and then just, but instead do the full extraction. You know, like extract that leg behind you, like a retreat, right? So one more time on the, we'll go this way, nice, and then hand behind you, and then hand out, and then getting up. Nice, good. Now, Micah, you go with me. So, you go to the side here, like that, right? So, you go first, Micah, Kev. You start going, Micah, and when he goes to stand up, kind of push him down a little bit to make sure he's safe. Good, nice. Way to get into the 4-point base. Good. You do that again, Micah. Good, nice. Now, Kev, you do a couple. Good, nice. One more. Okay. So, teeter-totter drill, that's one we worked on all three of this group of classes, right? The classes are grouped kind of thematically and positionally together in 3 classes at a time. And then we do a review class after that, okay? So, this is, we're gonna carry on with standing guillotine and also some of the punch defense stuff, but that teeter-totter drill is just a great elementary guard retention drill, okay? So and we can mix that in with our getting up in base, it's good stuff. Okay, now let's review striking defense, okay? So here, we're just gonna have our guard with our hands when we're standing, right? It's not with our legs unless we're on the ground. That's when we're guarding with our legs. Doesn't mean we don't use our hands, but here, I like to think about a triangle forming around everything that you would try and hit on my face. My nose, if I get hit in the nose, I lose vision, my eyes will water, right? If I get hit in the jaw, I can get knocked out easily by being punched inward or to the side, right? Even here, I get hit in that nerve center on my jaw. It's the same thing as it getting pushed in or sideways. It attacks that same set of nerves. Okay, so want to be able to protect. So think about forming a triangle here around your face, and we're just going to be working from our 4-point base today. Okay, so this foot gives me balance here. I'm wide enough so I don't have to step out. All right, I've got balance forward and backward and side to side. Okay, so Micah, if you're doing a straight punch at me, right here, what we're gonna do is if I deflect a straight punch, come back here, I'm gonna come in with an elbow and then a clinch. Give me the other hand there, add a little weight to it. I just elbow his palm and clinch, okay? And I'm in an over-under clinch. The arm and leg will be forward on the same side, okay? So we're to get a little connection here, all right? That's deflected. He goes to the body here, elbow, and then I get into my clinch, okay? If he goes body on the other side, here, elbow, clinch. That's for the straight punches. If we go punches to the head or body with hooks, rounded punches, so give me a hook on this side, I'm gonna cover block and hold that hand there. It's gonna be upward elbow. And then I'm coming there, okay? Now you give me hook on this side. I cover block, right? Elbow upward, clinch. Okay, so we want to block punches, elbow, and clinch. If I'm blocking hooks to the head or body, it's vertical elbow up. If I'm deflecting straight punches, it's horizontal elbow, and then I just clinch. Over under clinch for me is like what I like to get off of this. If you get double under clinch, if you get a side body lock, a front body lock, any of that's fine, okay? Let's not overcomplicate that part, but we just wanna go, okay, you tried to hit me, I slammed an elbow into your face, now I'm clinching you and I'm about to take you down. We're just not doing the takedown today, right? But that's like normal order of operations and procedures for this class, okay? So, Micah, and then we'll rotate you and Kev, and I'll just do the call outs, right? Because we've been working on this the last couple of classes. I'm gonna come this hand punch, deflect, elbow, clinch. Deflect, elbow, clinch, good. Deflect, elbow, clinch. Deflect, yes, elbow, clinch. Deflect, elbow, clinch, nice. Cover block, elbow, yes, and then come in, nice. Okay, cover block, elbow, very good. Let's go bodies. Here, okay, we can talk about this class, but when I'm here, turn that palm kind of towards yourself, and just boom, elbow to hip, and hip to elbow, both, boom. That way you don't have to lower your hand so much you can't, you know, support that side if you need to add defense there. Okay, so block the body, okay, upward elbow, clinch. Block the body, upward elbow, clinch. Okay, very nice. All right, okay, so you hop in my spot. Mike is going straight punch to the face, and both of these guys here do striking. So we'll just say jab. That's your front hand. We don't use a lot of terms in this class from boxing or kickboxing, right? We just say, hey, I'm gonna hit you this side. Straight punch. Things that make it simple. But this is the jab punch. Micah, throw your jab. Kev deflects, horizontal elbow, clinch, beautiful. Good. Throw your cross, deflect, elbow, here, nice. We do this a little bit in Thai boxing you've seen, and we call it the cuff block, right? Throw your cross at me. Feel how I'm like adding weight into that? I'm leaning on it. So I kind of think about that a little bit because as I go to close distance for the elbow, I can maintain that as I clinch you. And it feels cool. All right, let's keep going. Hook, nice, vertical elbow, and clinch. Cover block, vertical elbow, and clinch, nice. Yeah, there you go. And so when you go off the body too, just go vertical there as well, right? So hit me in the body, Micah. Here, 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 right? So just, and it's not the same side coming up, it's here. It's like, I'm kind of, imagine like, well, you hit me twice in the body, or you know, so you're throwing successive hooks, either one, but it's like here, here. See how that kind of, I switch and load into that one, right? So do your body block on with your right hand, Micah. Boom, boom. Yes, that was a real good one. Now do body block on the other side. Boom, boom. Oh, beautiful. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, Kev, you do one more set with Micah. Throw your jab, deflect, elbow, clinch. Throw your cross. Oh, messed up. Reset. Throw your cross. Good. Deflect, elbow, clinch. Very good. Now, actually, let's change this up a little bit. We're actually doing this drill next class, but we're going to do it for just this part. I want you to deflect 3 strikes and then elbow and clinch, right? So, and let's just do, you know, not be too crazy. Let's keep it straight punches. Any 3 straight punches. So you know it's gonna be here, here. Let's do it something like this. Throw this one, throw that one, throw this one to the body, boom, boom, boom. Right, so, you know, deflect, elbow, clinch, but do it on the 3rd, right? And, you know, Don't make it like this excessive crazy boxing combos. Okay, so let's try that. Right. So Kev, you give Micah just 3 straight punches. 1, 2, 3, elbow, clinch. Nice. Good. Again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you just forgot the elbow, you know. That's fine. All right, one more time. Elbow, clench. Keep the hands open. Right? All right, now, Kevin's turn. So you're punching at him. So in our stance, hands are open. And flag, elbow, clench. Nice. One more time. So here's another thing. So I think that it's in the next set of 3 classes that we're doing this one. Throw your jab punch at me. And we're coming in like that. So imagine like that, I'm actually using my palm of my hand. And what I was kind of saying to you a second ago is like, throw your jab and just hold it out. Right here, and be like real rigid. There I can add a little weight into it for whatever reason. It may be where it is on his arm. It like almost collapses his arm. So if you're trying to elbow and go in, but that palm versus the forearm, right? It's like we use that parry block in here just like we would in striking, right? But when he's here, like, boom, it's gonna be something like that. Or throw that again. Boom. Gonna be something like that, okay? First is throw your jab here, here. See how I kind of pinned that to your body as I was coming in? It's just because of that weight, right? We saw this in a much later class, but the last beginner class, we were in guard leaning on somebody like this, like putting all your weight on it. And it's like, it's so you can't even tell if you're watching it on video or something, somebody's doing it. And it's just like totally pinned. Anyway, so that's our striking defense. For this section here. So now let's move on to looking at our standing guillotine. We have two things to do with that. We saw it from the tackle defense, just finding base, and then we saw last class a little later phase. Like they got in for the tackle, you weren't able to find base and stop them, but you were able to find base and get them straight into the guillotine. Today we're going to do standing guillotine as a review from side headlock defense, which we haven't done. And then they win on the tackle. They take you down. And then you submit them with the guillotine from guard. Okay, so this we will call a tactical guard pull, right? So you're technically like you're getting taken down and you have an option, right? Like, okay, I'm already in on this guillotine. Am I going to just let go and go for posture control, punch, defense, and guard, which is what we're working on? Or am I going to go for the submission? And we're going to work on going for the submission, okay? Now, first, let's do this side headlock defense. Here. So, a lot of times when I'm teaching this, people are just pushing like sort of this way, sideways. I need to think about pushing him over this back corner. So, this would be the back corner, right? So, I need to get his balance going like this. Okay, so first off, talked about this in some previous classes. I need to think about my shoulder going into his shoulder, right? And then this hip kind of and shoulder going back. So like where this shoulder goes forward, this hip goes back, and that really, it helps me maintain posture versus getting pulled down and all this weight added to my spine. So I'm gonna frame here. I'm gonna push him here, and this is gonna make him start to spin, right? Now, I can assist with my hand on his back like this. And then like there, we just did it super slow. A lot of times when you do this dynamically, he spins like a top on one foot, right? There was me just slowly controlling his back, and you'll notice, here we are in the standing guillotine. Now remember, we want our shoulder forward, our leg and arm forward on the same side. We're turning our thumb in to check the watch, and then we're stepping back into base as we sort of like scoop up into his neck, and our elbows are pushing him away, okay? So we're in this side headlock, shoulder and hip, frame to the back corner, causes him to spin here. You've got my thumb up grip, okay? I need to adjust that because we saw last class, all he needs to do is swing his head out if I have thumb up grip. So as soon as you get into this guillotine, start turning to check your watch, getting your grip, just getting the C grip there on the knife edge of your hand, stepping back, rolling your shoulder forward, and pushing away with the elbows. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of this lift pressure, some, but it's more of like a scooping, and I'm dropping my base, keeping you in place, and then kind of raising all at the same time. So there's a lot of different circles of pain going on there, all right? So one more time, side headlock, connect, frame, spin here, step back into base, roll the shoulder forward, boom. All right, so when it's the base, you might go back into it slow, but that's that 4-point base we're talking about, okay? So, who wants to go first? All right, let's get right in the center. Okay, so side headlock. Been asking Robbie Lawler. Yeah, go ahead and push, make a fist and push your fist with this hand. All right, so grab your wrist, yeah. Good. Now, push Kev's head to his back corner over here. That's gonna cause him to spin. Keep pushing a little longer. Freeze, go back. Push more on his chin. See, that's causing him to spin a lot more. You push his back if you need to. Close. You kind of let go of your frame, but you got it in the end. Okay? Thumb up grip. Turn it to the palm. Yes. A little wider with your base. Shoulder forward. Elbows push. Good. Try not to get too narrow here. Yes. All right. Good. Reset. Try that again. You found it. You did find it. It's like it's an interesting little pathway, right? So he's got you inside headlock. Kev's also a little taller than you. Go to his chin, make the fist, push it to the back corner. Spin his low back. Do this to me, Kev. Man, you might be like, you're bigger than us.
I know.
All right? We shouldn't have asked him to come. Okay, so here. But hey, well, this is I mean, you look like a thug to me, right? On the street. Stereotypical. No, I'm just kidding. You don't at all. You look like a real nice guy. Especially when you wear your work shirt. Okay, so here. This is not good enough. See how he's like still being strong, right? I need to go to this back corner here, right? Now it's at this point, what I was saying, guide his low back to push him around to spin, right? And again, he is taller than both of us, so that's gonna be paramount for you. Once you're here, stand back up, right? And think, you may fall down, right? And when life kicks you down, do a double A, right? But when you're down, boom, you got a quick knee right there. But like I still had the front headlock, I just raised you up. I think that occurred when we were doing it. This happens sometimes because you're twirling on the top on one leg, right? You lost balance. Like that's what I was trying to make you lose balance. But then it's just kind of dynamically guiding that. Okay? Try one more time, Micah. And then we'll let Kev do it. Push his back. Yes. Yes! Hey, that was way better. Didn't get too narrow with your base. Good job. All right, hey, Kev, we'll do this with me and you. I'm the attacker today, you know what I'm saying? Just get my good side off. Yeah.
Yeah, look how fluid that was for you. Nice. Now, roll your shoulder forward. Elbows are pushing me away.
It's terrible. I showed this to Ryan Stevens the other day in Conway, and he was just like, we didn't even have time to talk about a whole bunch of the components of it, but it's so simple. Because what we do a lot of times is we do this, and when you do that, it makes me do this, so it looks like you're just like raising me up, right? So that was really good on all accounts. Okay, here, little bit more to the back corner. Keep that until he broke my grip.
Throw that shoulder forward. Oh, good. And squeeze.
Nice. And then two, really big on that watch detail, but then also like when you're here, it's kind of like scooping up in a sense, right? Again, we're not trying to like great big lift, and it's like the high pull motion in fitness. You start getting super weak right there. Then you have to do something like engage your legs, right? For like that's gonna be like a power clean motion. But you got to get underneath it. You only go so high. So this, when we drop down in our base, boom, like there, it's like, oh, I'm strong, and if I want to raise a little bit, I can do that with my legs. So nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the guard pull option. Okay, so this is going to be, again, we worked on front tackle and some things, but we can do from there: strikes, snapping them down, standing guillotine. They got past the front tackle, we still got the standing guillotine. Anytime you get somebody in front headlock, you could definitely knee them in the face. Okay, and then today they are actually going to be taking us down. So we're going to do this again. It's a beginner class, so we're going to think about this from a safety perspective, and I want the person that is being taken to the for they're going to be submitted with the guillotine. You're the person initiating the tackle. I want you to kind of, as they're going forward, to put your hands on the mat, and that'll just be kind of like the safest for all parties for today, right? And if I was teaching a beginner class, that's exactly what I'll tell them to do. Okay, so come here real quick, Micah. So here, right? This is sort of the idea of like step back into your base and here, right? This is, you got the headlock rather. Now, but yes. And see how you just like, oh man, I kind of let go, right? So when I want to go to the ground, I need to square my stance. So like if somebody got in on the tackle, go in for the tackle, right? And I got here, and then keep going for my legs. And then here, so like I need to square up and come in like that. And then I come hit back, right? And see how you're kind of falling over, Micah? Like that. That's why I was saying for the safety tip. Now stop that. Just for you, not for me, right? Just for the sake of the class. So, because we're not trying to sweep them out with it or anything like that, or tip them over. We want the person doing the choke to experience, we want both people to experience it, but like, oh, okay, yeah, he took me down. I always tell people this story. Right when I had started training martial arts, this was my first test. I went over to my friend's house. He had just bought this house, and I went over to hang out, and I'm like, dude, I've been training martial arts, no big deal, 6 months in. And he's like, this guy, when we were in junior high, was the strongest guy on the football team, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll just tackle you. I was like, tackle me, bro. I'm like 19 years old. And he does. And I didn't know the front tackle defense we're talking about or any of that. So he goes to tackle me, and he's taking me down, and he's screaming to be let go before we hit the ground. Screaming. I was like, hey, how'd that work out? Right? But it was just the same scenario. Like, he actually got in, he did tackle me. Like, that's all he did. He was not a trained wrestler. He's like, he was a lineman, a really good one. And he's like, oh, just tackle me. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you know. I know this other stuff. Well, so let's check it out. Right? And this is the same scenario. But what will happen if you don't like get some base out of this is they will when they take you down, the head will pop out. Just like what we saw with that first one with you, okay? So let's go ahead and come in on and we'll just do this kind of slow, kind of come in on the tackle for me, right? I got here, and instead of stepping back into base, I realize I'm late. He's going for my legs. I'm coming here, and when I go down, I want you to put your hands on the mat. Okay, so I come in here, boom. Okay, slightly extending away with my legs, but it's also like I'm hammering with my heels to add hip weight to them. So it's both. It's here. I'm doing that, like that extension is adding that weight here, so I can lift my heels a little bit to get the force. Okay. So tackle again. Just like that. How is that?
Great.
Terrible?
That's terrible.
Okay, thank you. Good job, Brian. Alright, so I saw that from Hickson. He says that sometimes on he said at the seminar. He's like blows everybody's mind. He's like, good job, Hickson. It's like cause nobody else is able to like do the technique or whatever because they always pull. It's funny. Okay, so let's see who wants to go first.
Okay.
All right. Let's tackle Micah. Reset. Arm and guillotine. It's arm and guillotine. Yeah, that's okay, right? So here's the thing. There, I would be trying in a real situation like that. We're not getting into arm and guillotine, even this whole class, like the whole curriculum. We don't really cover it, right? It's a good move, especially when you can't get the grip. But think about trying to maintain base to get that second hand in, okay? Or once we got to the ground, you wouldn't have had it in that situation. You could switch it on the ground, or don't have the guillotine, hands on the mat, come on. All right, so some of the things we saw last class. All right, keep going. Good, freeze. Legs too narrow. See how you pulled them in butterfly guard?
Oh,
Which
yeah.
we want. And I like guillotines from butterfly guard actually, right? But we want close guard. So you get, instead of your legs being here, they've got to be wide, right? Wide, you know, as wide as your partners for them to go around, is their shoulders, so you can go around their hips, okay? All right, good. Now you tackle Kev. Beautiful. Kev, you're the star pupil today. Here, let's scoot this way just a little bit. This one, you go way far back. Right, I like it though. All right. Let's see that again. Good. Stepped up, steps back. Right, so you want to think about this as a loss of balance for the person, right? Because here's the thing, you know, and you think about a lineman coming off the line, right? They do that in a way in which they assume posture pretty quickly. And it's like, you are in kind of a somewhat decent posture, right? It's kind of like a sumo stance, okay? But, right, like their thing is to get up underneath you, right? But imagine in that instance of like right before that occurs, we can pull somebody forward, all right? So that's kind of that same idea. It's like we're taking advantage of that one little instance in which they go here and the nose is before the toes, right? And then conversely so, we're stepping up to get their base going further back. Watch this from a side profile, good. Here, right? So I'm here. Watch what happens when my hips start going back like that. How it lurches this posture, right? So here. Right? So it's like it's the hip motion first. Okay? But yeah, let's do that a couple more times each. All right, and then we'll move on to punch, defense, and the guard. Okay, so Kev tackles. Feet wide. Yes, much better, much better. See, he kind of has it, oh yeah, I gotta find my base. Doing this walking backwards is like the stress test on it, okay? Very good. Micah, tackle Kev. Hips, legs wide, hips back. Oh, good. So close to concussion on the pole there, bro. Hey, but you know, that happens. While we were situational awareness. You knew it was there. Mm-hmm. All right. So we feel good about that situation for today? Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to punch defense, all right? And again, if you want to go back and you can watch the other two classes, a whole bunch of standing guillotine stuff in there. Like I will probably go through and just take all the standing guillotine stuff in the classes and put it into a video for people, because it's a great move, and it's like there have been great instances of UFC fights ending in that fashion. So John Jones will go to Machida and standing guillotine. Okay. All right. Let's move on to punch defense on the ground, and we're kind of still dealing with this stage 1 and 2. And today we'll take a look at what happens when somebody puts their arm under our head and some things like that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this stage 1 punch defense in a somewhat of a review capacity, right? We've worked a lot on stage 1 and 2 punch defense these past 2 classes. And we'll see stages 3 and 4 and 5 throughout the whole program, right? That's how many little areas, like sometimes they stand up, sometimes you have to get a knee shield, things like that, okay? So, the first thing is just controlling posture. If you don't have control of the posture, you can't really do anything, okay? Get right here, Micah. Put me in your guard. We joke a lot of times and we call this face touch, right? Remember, so we did this class 7. Don't let me touch your face. Look, yes, good, right? So there's that. Just deflecting a punch like what we were doing from standing early, okay? Now, it would be a really good idea to just not let me get here, okay? So anytime I'm here, just pull me down with your legs. Yes, see how my knees came up off the mat? Mm-hmm. Now, Micah, just grab behind my head and then the shoulder, the stage 1 punch defense. Good, okay? Pull me down. Good. Okay? Now, so that's just controlling posture. We just need to be able to do that. We need to be able to pull our legs this way. A lot of times people try and grab and pull people down 45. It's a horizontal pull, okay? So there's that, and then let's say, hey, I'm about to hit you. You train jiu-jitsu, you kind of have seen this coming. Right when I rear back is when I'm susceptible. So when I go to load up the hit, because I'm probably not just gonna go, right? I go to load up the hit, that's when I want you to do this, okay? Now, just pull my posture down, we're not gonna worry about anything else right now. Just pull me down. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay, so you've got just breaking posture, and then breaking posture as I go to hit you. Now, here's what I want you to do. You're gonna deflect. It's like I got the punch coming, and you're having to block it, right? Like it wasn't like you started it here, like the punch is coming down already. But you start pulling the posture, and you're gonna go like this. Yes. Right, but instead of the palms, the forearms, right? And then let it slide down, at the shoulder, and then here, okay? If your arm's over here, you can choose to control the head with the guillotine side, like a headlock, or you just roll over into this position, and that'll be what we do, okay? So, the punch is coming, block it, good, nice, that's fine, okay? That's good, good. Let's go on this side. Good. Okay. And you know, remember how we talked about pushing the head? So let's say you're on this side of the head. You can do something like that. All right. So block this round punch. Boom. First go into like the guillotine. Now start doing it. Boom. See that? It's like you start to wrap the guillotine and then you redirect from the end of the head. That's like the end of the fulcrum idea we talk about in arm bars and everything. Okay? So this is the basic sort of punch defense, right? So let's do this. you switch roles, so I want you to get in Kevin's guard. All right, and I'll narrate over here. Good. Okay, so Kev, you just got close guard, and all I want you to do is just pull his posture down. Boom. Yes. Good. Nice. And you got it right there. Nice. Now back posture up. He's not even doing anything. Just pull him down. Boom. Good. Okay. Nice. One more time. Good. Very good. Okay. Now he's going to hit you, but it. Did you come to the stick defense workshop we did? McMillan brought a really good term in for that. Pre-fight indicator. Right? People do the same things when they're going to hit you here as they do standing up. There's going to be kind of this load to it. So when he goes to do that, pull him down. Yeah, and you can even start sooner if you want. Nice. Good. Again. Now. See, as soon as you see him go to move, pull him down. Nice. One more time. Good. Okay, now he's actually he got reared back and he is going to hit you, right? This is all, I like calling it a dive block, right? Because it's like a term you hear it in actually football and elsewhere. But here, right, it's like I'm diving, but it's just to the side. So it hits my forearms, right? But it's kind of how you dive into a pool, right? So just dive block with your forearms and then go into that posture control, okay? So he's hitting you, boom. Nice. Good. Again, other side. See, nice. Very good. Nice. Time. Okay. And hop out real quick. You stay here. And this is just bonus for you guys. It doesn't matter what I do. If I go to do it, you just pull me down with your legs. Okay? Just close your eyes. If you feel me go to do anything, just pull with your legs. Yeah. Yeah. See, you did it early, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that punch hitting you, right? Good. Now you can Kimura me and stuff too. I feel it, right? That's very nice. It's the feel. It doesn't matter, because there I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this guard break. Oh, I'm gonna do this guard break. Oh, I'm gonna do this. And every time you were just pulled down. It didn't matter what I was doing. It mattered that you did it when I was doing it. Okay, so we want to always think about time. Okay, let's go ahead and start taking the back. And the first way we take the back and prevent the slam is by deflecting the straight punch or the face touch. Okay, so if I'm here, you deflect that and just kind of get me in an arm triangle position. Yeah, good. Now, from here, if I start trying to boom that, and then we talked about this, it's not happening anymore, is it? Yeah, good. Right with that. Oh, man. You had it there. Futile effort. Okay, so here, I hit, you pass it. There you go. Now, don't do that yet. Right? For a hard surface, that could suck for you after I do it 3 or 4 times. Right? And let's say I'm mentally ill on drugs, something like that. It's even worse. Okay? So put your foot on the mat. I got nothing. Right? And I got, and you would think it would be a lot harder to pick somebody up a little bit and slam them down. But in sport, and I know you guys don't just think about things that way, but in sport, it's illegal to do that to somebody. So we don't see it. We don't think about it. Right? So that's kind of the separation of this class is that's the main thing we're talking about here is, isn't it a great benefit to not get slammed on the back of your head? Okay? So that's the idea. We just deflect the straight punch and defend getting slammed. Okay, let's do this side now. Oh. Good. Foot on the mat. That's real good. You start taking the back. You already have my back. But you start turning it on your side, that's flattening the rear mount all day long. Deflect.
Good. Yes, now kind of chop it. Yes. See, you chopped that hip and broke me down. Very nice. All right, Micah, swap roles with Kevin. Okay, deflect the straight punch. Pull him down. There you go. Now, Kev, pick him up and slam him, Kev. Boom! All right, so want to make that hard, so put your foot on the mat to make your shoulders connect to the floor. Drive them to the floor. Can you do that as much, Kev? Not as much. Barely any. And you're straining. Good. Yeah, do it and release. Right? It's like, then it becomes like, oh, that was a bad idea to try hard right there. Okay? So let's see that again. Deflect the straight punch. Good. And bridge. See, connect those shoulders. Yes. Yes. Then you start turning out on your hip. Chop this. Yes. 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 Good. Reset one more time for Micah. Good. There. Base. Base. Heavy. Shoulders on the mat. Good. Start hipping out. Chop. Nice. Good. Okay. Time. Very good. Okay, Micah. Here. So, when we're talking about this stage 1 punch defense, right? Or even stage 2, if you weren't able to, you were transitioned back to 1, or you just weren't able to get all the points of control on stage 2, right? So stage 2 is what we call single and double wing guard. Okay, go feet on the hips. Grab my triceps. Okay. Now, let's say you didn't do something like raise your hips up, and then I was able to come in, go back to close guard. You got to start being able to go back into stage 1, right? So with this is like an instance when that can happen, right? So somebody putting the arm under the head, just control, go to normal control at stage 1, right? So there you go, good. Here, back of the neck and here, right? So where I'm trying to do is come inside here, so I can hit, boom, like that. And I'm dropping a lot of weight on his neck. Last time we talked about it being here. We saw ways to deal with that, and just go to the back like the face type thing. Okay, so with here, what we want to do is we want to take a look at back taking and sweeping. Okay, so when we take the back, what we want to do is put this foot on the hip, right? So create a little connection. Now, I want you to start turning on your hip a little bit. And then think about your shoulder connecting to my back on this side. Yes, good. Now, think about bridging up this way a little bit. Yes. Now, slip out of that. Slip your head. Yes. Okay, very good. Go ahead and put me in this real quick. And it's that slipping that leg up is, people are doing that for base, but we can take advantage of that, right? So we'll start with here, and we talk about how we have to pummel for this arm control, right? But he gets that in there. And when he does that, so put that leg up to drop that weight, okay? Either this leg here, right? Yes. See, that's real terrible. So there's the talk test on it, right? So what I want to do is I'm going here, right? Slipping out because I want to take the back, right? And just like that, like spring loads alleviating the pressure as the arm's going over here, right? And that's when I'm chopping the rear mount. Okay, so come back. Go ahead, you're in here, that leg is up, look here. I'm leaning into him this way, but then I'm going here. And if he's very strong, come back, be very strong. I want to think about my head going this way, perhaps even to the mat, right? I've got to add weight to make his grip break. Like there, your grip is breaking this every time that I just kind of push with my foot and go like that with my shoulder, right? You know, you may have to keep going forward and down with your head if their grip does not break. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's this back take, and then there's the elevator sweep from this same situation. Okay, and that's it for class today. So let's look at you guys taking the back from that, and then from that same situation, somebody's under your head, they have a leg up. Let's say you can't get out for the back. We got this sweep here. Because people are overcommitted when they do this. This is not a super good answer, right? I like some guard passing where I put my arm under the head, but it's pretty advanced, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty advanced conversation. Like, we can have a conversation, but somebody in the beginner class, it's not really a benefit to them, except for learning how to defend it. Stack passing, that's what this is called, but we're looking at from the perspective of somebody hitting more than anything today. But somebody definitely be using that pressure that we're creating to pass your guard. Okay? So let's get in the guard here real quick. Good. Foot in the hip and then turn on your side. Really try and keep around his head as much as you can when we're doing this, Micah. Nice, clear it. Go back. And it is hard. Like when you start putting that foot on the hip and going that way with the shoulder, it's hard to hold on, right? But do your best to hold on, and then we'll check it with me holding on before we switch sides. Foot in the hip, bridge. Yes. Good. Nice. Here's a small little detail too. I'll do it, slide forward here a little bit. I'll do it on you. And as soon as you break my grip, I want you to pause, okay? So we're here, all right. We're gonna go on the hip, good. I'm gonna hold on. Get that shoulder going up and away. That's it. Now, here, look at the direction your hips are facing. I want you to think, because if you turn your hips the other way, going belly down and turning just on the other, like just rotating your hips, it will clear my arm, right? So and then just keep rotating your hips, and that'll help you come up on the back too, right? So it's that same, just go back from the beginning. Here, putting the foot in the hip, good, there. And just keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating. Boom. See how that hoisted you up?
Oh yeah.
Right? That's one of the things from that's when we do the side headlock version of that. You just rotate, right? And we got video of that up on the channel too if you want to look at it. Okay, but you just rotate that side. It's just literally hip escape. Shrimping is what the kids call it, or the old people one, right? So it's literally just the motion of, it's not that, it's this motion of turning your hips, right? And we were doing that like earlier in a different sense, but it's the same, okay? So that's switching your hips like that. It's a key detail. Here, try it one more time. Yes. It's a lot easier when you just think about the hips part of it for me. Okay. Now, Micah, you go. Kev's in your guard. Smash in your face. Think about yes. Oh, beautiful, Micah. Good job. Good job, babe. Rotate your hips. Good. Very good. Okay. So, I felt you, like, you know, hey, you're the taller guy of all three of us, and I'm right in the middle, just a little shorter than you. He's way shorter than both of us. But man, wasn't that technique super easy for you because of that? Like when it's like going time to put the foot on the hip time.
Yeah.
You know, me versus you even. It's just like, you know, I got to kind of maneuver
to get that. And that's just, anatomy. That's just how our body types line up with each other, which is a cool facet of what we do. It kind of can be frustrating, like, well, made things different a little bit in that instance. But another thing is, there's nothing that says you can't push here versus here. There's nothing that says you can't push out a little bit to go here first. It's more about creating space. And then the next thing is if you can't proceed forward, let's say you get the foot on the hip, whatever, excuse me, to this technique, you elevator sweep, which is what it was called when I was a kid. That people call it the butterfly sweep now. But when I first started training, 2006, it was single butterfly and double butterfly sweep, or double butterfly guard. Double butterfly was very, very rarely talked about. And then it was elevator sweep. Everybody called it the elevator sweep, and you'll still see it called that. Like that's still, another thing, flower sweep. Pretty much everybody calls that pendulum sweep now. But forever it was flower sweep. And so you'll still see it called both. It's just interesting things about the culture, the art. Anyway, but if you can't get that foot on the hip, we'll go with that butterfly, single butterfly hook to elevator sweep. All right, so Micah, hop down here.
Okay, so I'm driving down here, right? What I want you to do is turn this way. Do your hips this way. Put your hook in. This way. Yes, and then sweep. Boom. Good. Get in my guard. Go sideways here. Okay, go under on this side. Yeah. All right, so here, go ahead and really stack that weight up. Yeah, not comfortable. Okay, so look here. He has no base. He's so light. He's giving me that. He's putting all the weight into my voice, which is a good job. It was really affecting my voice, right? But it's affecting your base also, and I'll take that trade, right? A second or two of discomfort for me to be able to have total control, all right? Again. Beautiful. Good. And look how isolated that arm is for class 1 Americana. We've seen. Okay. Kev, you're on bottom. Micah's in your guard. And then we'll finish up here. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good. Again. Nice. One more time. Nice. Good job, Kurt. Okay. Yeah. Nice. When we're doing 2 people here today also, because you get to, like, just like you are now, like I was showing it with Micah, and you're like, same thing, I'm doing it with Kev, we get a 3D, right? It's usually just him, he doesn't get to see that, right? Yeah. He's like, hey, let me have that sheet over there, we got taped to the camera with the moves on it, all right? So, good job today. Just cool situations to look at, we don't always see, but are very valuable to learn how to get out of, right? Like I would say, us stacking, somebody putting the arm under the neck like that, I'll do that, probably the only one out of the 3 of us that would do that to pass the guard, right? We were teaching a stack pass to Kessa to armbar that recently, it's exactly like that, under the head, but in the, all ranks in OG class. All right, you guys any questions? All right, thanks for your help, dudes. Kev, appreciate you. That's class number 9.